Hi, welcome to another instructional video. Today we're going to show you how to assemble your TRIGA Go modular display system. Whether you have a 3-foot TRIGA Go wall or a 20-foot TRIGA Go U-booth, we will go through the step-by-step process on how to assemble the frames as well as attach the graphics. So first things first, you're going to start by removing all the components from your carry case, regardless of however many carry cases you may have. Start removing those pieces and we'll begin assembling the frame. So let's start small and put together a 3-foot frame. Let's start by attaching the foot to the bottom pole. You'll notice throughout the hardware is conveniently labeled to direct you in order to assemble your frame. Simply line up the cutout crosshair mold on the bottom pole to the cutout crosshair on the foot and lock into place by twisting the foot. So now the foot is secured to the bottom pole and you can rest it on your clean flat surface floor. Repeat this process for the second pole. One thing to note, specific only to the 3-foot TRIGA Go wall. 2 toes of the feet should be facing towards one another that will be underneath the bottom crossbar. This will create for stability for a 3-foot TRIGA Go wall. The larger sizes, you can position the bottom poles as such where a toe is facing effectively the back side of your frame to make for less visibility of the feet on the front of your display. But for the 3-foot TRIGA Go wall, you're gonna need to position them like so, again with these toes facing each other underneath your frame for that extra stability. We can now go ahead and install that bottom crossbar. There is a tab on the end of the bottom crossbar that fits into the interior channel on your poles. They simply slide in like so. And now you move the green locking mechanism over to lock into place. And now that we have the bottom portion of your frame set up, let's go ahead and install the top poles. Now the poles themselves connect together as such. Simply line up the notch of the top pole to the hole on the bottom pole and twist the fastener tight to secure into place. You can now install your top crossbar, and I've found it easiest to simply move your frame and tip it down slightly to access the top poles, and you can insert your top crossbar that way. So simply line up this notched tab at the end of your crossbar to the interior channel on the top portion of your top pole, and it slides into place. Repeat for the other side. One thing to note about the top portion of these TRIGA Go frames is that the top knob here, in which the crossbar attaches to, is a tension release knob. That is used to make sure the graphic is nice and taut. So before you install the graphic, you want to make sure it's in its recessed position as shown here. But then when your graphic is attached, you're going to want to press down and release that tension to make your graphic nice and taut. Once you have your top crossbar installed, you can go ahead and tip the frame up, and it's now time to attach the braces. So to attach these braces to your frame, make sure the green locks are parallel to the posable tabs here, and line up the posable tabs with the interior channel on your frame. Position it as such, and now you're going to twist the lock and snap into place. So here we have one 3-foot TRIGA Go wall frame. Now if you have a 6-foot, 10-foot, or 20-foot TRIGA Go wall, it is really easy to simply extend this frame out to reach those lengths. The channels that lie within the poles of the frame make it that much more easy to add top and bottom crossbars to extend the length of a TRIGA Go wall. So as you can see, it is just that simple to extend the length of your TRIGA Go wall. You can add one more set of crossbars and an end pole and foot, and this can become a 10-foot wall. You can double that and create a 20-foot wall. So as you can see, I'm on a ladder. These are quite tall displays, so if you need to utilize a ladder in order to install your graphic, go right ahead. Now for the single-sided TRIGA graphic installation, you're gonna know what your art looks like. You're gonna know where the center of your art should be as it pertains to the frame. Start installing your graphic in the center and work your way on the outside and around the back. You fold that edge into the channel like so, and as you go along, it gets easier and it can stop right before you make that turn. Go ahead and start doing the bottom now as well. And now it might be easiest, instead of moving the ladder around, you can just simply slide the display over. So then you can make that turn into the back channel. Once it's all installed and ready to go, you're gonna then return to the top crossbar and press down to do that tension release on the edge poles of your crossbar. So then it'll make your graphic nice and taut. For double-sided graphic installation on your TRIGA Go wall, you're gonna start installing the graphic on the back side channel. So as it pertains to this video, this right here will be the back side of this particular setup. So you just fold edge of the graphic at the very start of that backside channel, and you're gonna work your way from left to right and make that first wraparound to then the front. Make that first turn. Now you'll make your second turn back around to the back, and you just overlap the graphic installation onto the backside of your graphic. Now that your graphic is secured to the frame, go ahead and push down on the tension release top crossbar. This will then make the graphic nice and taut on the frame. If you do not have a ladder readily available, or you're not able to use a ladder, here's how you can attach your graphics to 3, 6, and 10-foot TRIGA walls. Simply tip the frame down and place the edge of the graphics in the channels of each crossbar. Graphic attachment for a 3-foot wall can be accomplished with one person. However, if 2 people are assembling, one person can hold the frame while the other installs the graphic. You can tip the frame back up to attach the graphic to the bottom, but be sure to press down on the top poles to release the tension mechanism. Same applies for the 6 and 10-foot frames. You may need to add another person to accomplish graphic installation. We're going to show you how to set up your TRIGA Go counter. It is a tool-free, very simple process, so let's get started. So first things first, we're going to lay out the components on a clean flat surface, and we're going to start by building from the ground up. So we're going to lay out the bottom crossbars, and we're going to align those into the channels on the side poles here. Put the smaller ones in. Now that we have the bottom crossbars in the channels of the poles, let's go ahead and make sure we lock these bottom crossbars into place. We can now go ahead and install the bottom support braces. Line up the tabs with the channel of the poles, move the locking tab, and secure into place. The top crossbars install just the same as if you were installing them on a TRIGA Go wall. And make sure the tension release top bars are recessed in before you put the graphic on. At this point, we're going to install the braces that will then support your shelf. Go ahead and rest the shelf on the support braces. So to start installing your graphic on your TRIGA Go counter, you're going to start on the top. Now, much like a single-sided TRIGA Go wall, the graphic will wrap around and have 6 or so inches on the back here. That will leave an opening for you to access your inner shelf. You should know what the front and center of your artwork should be, and make sure you have that lined up and positioned so that can be displayed as you see fit. And you're just going to start folding in that edge into the top channel like so. Make that wrap, fold it in, and just kind of work your way around the top of the counter. And do the same thing on the bottom. Just work your way around the frame. So with your graphic securely wrapped around the entirety of the frame, go ahead and press down on the top of the tension release pulls to make your graphic nice and taut. And then you're going to move that green tab to the locked position on all 4 poles so that your countertop can support necessary weight. And last but not least, you can install your countertop. We'll show you from the backside view here so you can get a better look, but simply line up the raised corner pieces on the bottom of the countertop on the interior of your frame. And there you have it. It's just that simple to set up your TRIGA Go counter. Today we're going to show you how to set up your prime LED light display. It's a very simple process, so let's get started. Now, this light could be mounted on a variety of floor displays, but it is perfect for the Journey SEG display, so that's what we're going to use today. Go ahead and line up the bracket at the end of the light onto the desired location of the top of your display and start screwing into place by twisting the wrench at the back of the bracket. Go ahead and plug in your power source, and then plug your power source into the light. And it's just that easy to set up your prime LED light display.